It's about damn time back with another video review of the last episode of Griselda. This is episode 6. Let's get into it. So we at Martha's house because Griselda can't live with herself at home. She got bad memories of last night. If she kicked everybody out, cracked out of her mind. So she's at Martha's house, cracked out of her mind. Now, case in point is because she's killed baby Castro. It has something to do with it. Dixon told Rivy that he got punched on, so Rivy went in and tried to get retaliation for Griselda. There can't nobody mess with her sons. So she got to live with herself. So now she's using Martha to, ease her mind, and she tried to use her also so she can get back to Fabio and tell her, she's sorry and she's looking to resolve this issue that they have. So as they celebrating, Martha ends up dying, overdosing right there on the couch. She falls on the glass, and that's when she calls Rivy. So G and Rivy trying to figure out how to clean this up. So G is like, look, we're going to make it seem like me and her fled the country, fled the scene, and we're going to leave him. So they're trying to make it seem like that. But then, she started panicking and feel like, I'm at the end of my road. So Rivy tells her, it's always a new start. So they end up rolling her up in the carpet. And Griselda basically said, come here, Rivy. There's so much cocaine. And the basic plan is now is to make it look like Martha has left and took the cocaine with her, and she's basically leaving Rafa. So Rafa pulls in when they're trying to escape. They're trying to take all the coke so they can just retrieve it. So while they scatter around trying to leave, Rafa comes in. So they ran to the back and they hide her body in a jacuzzi. So she basically cooking like some tender meat. So they fled the scene, and they plan this to get back home, tell the boys, we all leaving. Why we leaving abruptly? Because I'm in some deep shit. So they all pack up and they head out to California. Ruffy comes in looking for Martha. He say, look, girl, I got you some McDonald's. Where you at? So he going all around the house, and that's when he found out that she in the jacuzzi itself. So he's mourning the death of his girlfriend that he really, really liked, because you can tell he really loved her by the way he crying and mourning her. So he trying to say he go get that. We need to find out where she at and how she moving. So that's when he sends the mole that's in the Miami Police Department. He actually works for those Childs. So that's we found out that's where the mole at. That's who been watching Griselda and her team, because they trying to basically, if it's tied to Griselda, then it's tied to the Ochayos. So now that Griselda's not on their side, he's using all his informant information to go and find her, which she's in California. Rivy takes her to California because that's where he at. So that's how I know she's in California. That's the only reason why they're in Los Angeles. So he comes back with the information and say, we actually found her. And he noticed that the cocaine's always missing. So when he find out, as soon as the coke hits the streets, he need to know. So that's when he sends the informant on to find out. Dario takes Lil Mike, because he basically tells her, because they get a phone call, and he tells her, we leaving. He's at the airport. He's taking Michael to his mom's house, Carolina. And that's where they finna go at. And she's pissed right now because she's trying to leave town, and she want to make sure she get everybody, all her kids, but she can't because Dario already left and took his clothes, and him and Mike is in town with his mom. So while Griselda has a $1 million ransom on her head, Syntech is down in the investigation with Carmen again. So Carmen is basically giving her some like, okay, we don't need to go no further. You need to get out of this while it's easy, because they're going over the details that Carmen just told them. But she's feeling like, nah, I can't really say anything about the murders because I don't know anything about the murders. But June tells her, if you don't say anything else, then more people can get hurt. Well, Carmen say, I don't want to get hurt, so whatever information you got now, just stop it. All I want is some protective custody. So that's when they go to the hotel. Dixon in the backseat trying to make his mom feel bad for what happened to baby Castro. But it's really not her fault. It's your fault for even telling her. You ran to this man's house trying to get him involved in something when he told you no. You don't like no because you're a brat. Then you ran and tell your mama, and she cleaned up a little bit of mess, talking about you just wanted him to be, a lesson taught to him. But that's not really what you wanted. You want him to take responsibility for you. But she risked herself on the line in her whole operation for the sake of you, and now everybody looking at her like she a baby killer. She looking at herself like she a baby killer. So they goes back up to the hotel room, and he tells her, you a liar, just like Uber said. You don't tell me anything. This when she breaks down and say, you know what, I haven't been honest with y'all. But I have been honest with y'all because I'm trying to protect y'all. So she gives them all pieces of chain that's been broken. It's like a emerald colored chain, and everybody got a piece. She bought one for Mike, Uber, Uzi, and Dixon. Well, you know, Mike is going with his dad at their mom house. So he basically reiterates, you know, the forgiveness. You see Uzi comes in and hugs her, and everybody on the beach. And this is when she takes her cigarette and she do her godmother outline. Now this is what she always do. She outlined whatever she's looking at. So this is her prized possession that she outlined, which is all she have left. It's her son. Now initially she was outlining her house, her empire, her foundation. But now all she has left is her kids. So that's what she drawing the line over. This is my protection. This is my prized possession. So she has to make sure no matter what decision she made from here on out, she got to think about her kids. But Griselda has this feeling that she already know what Drill is. So Drill can't really go too far. So she calls the mom house, Carolina, and she asks to speak to Drill. Now Drill's in the background sitting on the couch, you know, quiet as a mouse. He don't really want to talk. He don't really want to know if she's there or not. So she been a bugaboo. So she's saying, don't call this house no more. Don't call here looking for them because they not here. She feel like she had a dead end. So being that they had took the coke from Marta's house, they trying to sell it now at the hotel. They don't want to be too loud with it. So Reeve is going to sell it in small increments. So after she gets off the phone with Drio, her heart broken, and he say, you know what, Reeve says, I can make you feel better. I just sold the first batch. So that's when they get their ball going, and she tells, okay, look, I have a plan. I have a master plan. Poor Raffy, he's sitting there sobbing on the bed, crying because of Marta. And that's when his guy comes in with some good news to cheer him up. They say, okay, we found them and where they at. He been selling his product in Los Angeles. So that's where they find out where he at. And that's when we find out that Raffy wants a $1 million ransom basically on any information about her whereabouts. So we moving on to the proceeding. Here you go. You got Raffy. He pulling up in 3 cars deep. He got his machetes. He got everything he need. So someone gets a call and they call Raffy and they basically tells Rivy, they call Rivy and say, Raffy has landed in Los Angeles. You need to get out and you need to tell y'all need to go. So of course he gotta hurry up and do it. So in the middle of him doing a business transaction, he goes to the payphone where he ain't got no more quarters. He knows they got a bank right across the street. So he head over there with a $20 bill. He tells the bank teller, I need some quarters. Here goes some money. And she got this thing, well, you know, you ain't no damn member of this bank, so you can't get no money. So I understand, like, it's like Costco, you gotta have your card. You gotta, if you ain't no member, you can't get no perks. So he gotta go back and say, you know what? He pulled out his pistol and he told her, look, I gotta make an important phone call. He need these quarters. So that's when she gives him the quarters finally, instead of just giving the man the quarters. But this is how banks do it. If you ain't no member, you can't get no money. You can't get no assistance. Okay? That remind me of a story when I had needed help. I was on the side of the road. My car had broke down, right? I'm gonna get back to the story. But my car broke down and I was right at the Salvation Army. Now the Salvation Army is known to be an army of salvation, helping people with clothes and assistance and all that. So I goes inside the building and I asked to use the phone. My car had broke down and my phone did. So I'm hot, I'm in Louisiana weather. I go in and try to get some help. Don't you know the people told me no? I went back to my car mad, but good thing my auntie had passed by. Good thing the salvation of the Lord was there. So she picked me up. So I ain't even worrying about that. So I know how you felt when, you know, you're here for a service, but you can't even give me no service. So anyway, he get the quarters and he goes back to the payphone and he told Griselda, look, y'all need to leave. Raphael just touched down. I knew you hit up the boys. So he come with his sweet talk. So he's sweet talking her, saying, you know, I felt like, you know, man, you were some past lovers in a lifetime, and this and that. But yeah, bye, Griselda. Bye, Raffy. See you later. So this one she takes again, but she lying for their protection though. So she gets some money from her purse and she tells Uber, look, we all supposed to go meet Rivy at the, you know, have some dinner reservations, but you know, I'm tired. So she's trying to make an excuse to stay at the hotel and save her son. So she sends them out. But you can tell that Uber looking at mom like, you know, something ain't really right. But as part of her plan is to get the boys out of sight, out of mind. As Riffy is coming to, you know, retaliate against her for killing Marta. Well, he think he killed Marta, but she didn't. They wasn't going to believe that this lady overdosed on some crack. They wasn't going to believe that the fact that everything had transpired the previous night. So Riffy's like, you know, we got to hurry up and leave. So now this is her master plan to send her boys away and let herself deal with the consequences. So this is we get convoluted, all right? So at this point, I was trying to say, is Rafi the informant? But he's not. He's not the one who brought the police there. She's actually the one. So she's waiting for him, and he's waiting to kill her. But she called the police on herself and to turn herself in. So basically, she in protective custody. And because if they wouldn't have came in time, you know, they would have ate her up. They would have killed her right there in the room. Because I'm trying to see why she was just standing there so calm. I'm like, okay, well, this is part of her plan. And I was like, Rafi is not the mole, but he actually is the mole because the guy he's working for is a detective or a police officer. And you notice that because when he walked in the room where Rafi was crying on the bed, you can see his badge on his side. So that's for him. He answered the question without saying it. So June is pissed. June felt like, damn, she turned herself in and she gonna look like she clean right now. But she's not gonna be held accountable for the injustice that she did to these families, like murdering the kid and all these dead bodies that she's been working on. Remember, June had to work on 8 dead bodies on her first case because she had to be head of Syntec. After they was compromised, Diaz, she had to be on top of everything. So now she going home every night feeling bad, like, okay, I wake up today after the baby was killed, and you mean to tell me she turns herself in and they only trying to give her 5 years on good behavior? So June is pissed at this point. Al trying to calm her down and say, look, we did what we can do. Don't you want her to be held accountable? In some type of way, she's, you know, in jail, but that's not how June looking at it. June want her to go down for those people that she's killed. So when she turned herself in, her lawyer name is Rodney. Rodney is trying to make a deal for her and say, you know, she's turned herself in, she's cooperated, and she want protective custody because upon y'all arriving to the hotel, she could have been murked. So she's seeking protective custody, being that she turned herself in and cooperated with you guys. So once they leave out, her lawyer brings her a note. And the note is basically from her kids saying, you know, we're good, we're safe, we'll see you later, mama. While she worked out the plan with her lawyer, June and Al, you know, they trying to compensate her and say, look, we did all we can do, but she's still mad. Al wants June to just throw in the towel. You know, we see she got her lawyer, we see she turned herself in. We did our job. Still, June is not satisfied. She's still adamant of retrieving Griselda in the best way, in the rightful way. So everything she worked hard for, you're not just going to go down easy in her eye. So she's trying to push. But Al is like, girl, throw in the towel. You know, we did what we supposed to do. We put people in jail. Just throw in the towel. June using everything against her. So they know they captured Rivy. And, well, they haven't captured Rivy yet. So her thing is, her kid's still out. She's a mother. Her youngest son is not 18 and over. He's 18 and under. So being that, she can put out an Amber Alert for Uzi and say that he's being kidnapped by Rivy. So when they at the hotel, that's when they find out, he gets a call, he steps outside. He tells Dixon, you know, don't invite no girls over. This our business. Chill out, stay low, live low. So when he goes outside, Uzi sees himself on the news. You know, he excited, he a kid. Now they trying to link Rivy to a bank robbery, which, man, he did hit the woman at gunpoint. But they don't know all that. All they know is this man went in the bank and they see his face on the news and their little brother is mentioned to be kidnapped. So this when June putting her 2 and 2 together to try to get some information off of Rivy so she can use it against Griselda so they can have the murders so she can actually go to jail for that. So good thing Rivy, she got him, and he is in custody right now. So while he's in custody being questioned, June is basically saying, I'm gonna give you the death penalty. So what information you got on Griselda? Griselda walks in with a detective and he shows her, look, I'm finna rub it in your face. This man's supposed to be taking care of your kids, but he not. You done ordered him to do X, Y, and Z. Now you think he ain't gonna turn on you? So she nudges the door when he walking by. And he asks, you know, she say, you know, my kids basically. They're in Chicago, they got everything they need. So I'm thinking Chicago is where the Dario and Michael at, but I don't know if that's it because they didn't say the location of where the mama stay at. Rivy basically tells her in this transaction that I'm not taking no loss because of you. You know, she's like, oh, I thought we was past lovers. He was like, man, F all that. They talking about the death penalty. We got to move around for real now. While Rivy's getting booked, they do a swap out with Griselda. The LA Police Department switches her over to Miami Police Department. So they basically say, look, go ahead and go home. They gonna handle it from here. So her and June is sitting in the car, and June just comes to pick up Griselda. And look, we going back to Miami. We did all these crimes at, so you can be held accountable properly. So you see she got this blank stare in her face. They then locked her up, got her in handcuffs, so they drive her to Miami. So her and June has this face-to-face conversation. You know, this is the first time they actually meet and having a conversation. So Griselda basically tells her, you know, I can tell you ain't got no life. I am the life that you have, because you don't have nothing going on. I bet you've been thinking about me in this moment of capturing me for all this time. And she tells June, guess what? I ain't never think about you, ever. So June like, look, man, I'm just doing my job. So, you know, of course, every time Griselda's nerves get bad, she get nauseous. So they saying, pull over, let me pull over. So she pulls over, and she looks like she's trying to escape, because June tells her that the DA, she's going to push for the DA to get her the death penalty. So when she hear that, that brings her nauseous, makes her want to pull over and throw up. So, of course, they let her pull over and throw up. So while she's out, she just takes a look back outside, and she eyeing the scene like her last chance of freedom. That's what she's looking. She's looking like either I want to run, or you know what, let me just soak this moment in and just smell the roses, this freedom. Because I don't know when the last time I might get out. Being that Rivy just turned on her, the 5 years that she initially thought she was going to do, she don't think that's going to be the case. Because June just told her she going to have the death penalty. So now she waking up and smelling the roses finally. And here we go with sweet talking Rivy. So Rivy has his interrogation, you know, he in the room with the DA and stuff. So the DA's assistant sitting there. Her name Janice. Janice is a married woman, and Rivy sitting there giving her the eyes. So he basically knows that he can compromise this investigation. So they ended up putting Janice as one of the advisors over the case. So they're on the phone having phone sex. You know what I'm saying? She putting her hands where the sun don't shine, that moaning and groaning all on the phone and all this and that. So Miss Rodriguez walks in and catches Janice playing fiddly with her fingers on the phone. So this is when Rodney calls G and tells her, look, they got recordings of the phone sex that the DA's assistant and Rivy was having. So that's compromising the case, so it imploded in their face. So the fact that Rivy is having interrelations with this woman who works on the DA team, you know, it basically minimizes his position against Griselda. So when Griselda hears this, her lawyer Rodney say, look, they trying to offer you 8 years now. What she say, well, tell him I'm doing 7 years. So that's her update. So he say, look, Rivy said he got a message for you, Griselda. So she on the phone like, yeah, what he said? He said, Danada, you're welcome. You know what I'm saying? So we see that they are actually lovers in the past life. As much as they think, he said, I'm not going to do the death penalty, but I'm going to find a way for you to get free in a shorter time. So this is how he manipulated her. Janice is a married woman, so her and him in June reminiscing about, you know, they see the news article, and, you know, she's still like, damn, after all this hard work we did with Al again, throwing the towel, girl. We did what we can do. She in jail. You can't do nothing else. She just being very ungrateful. The girl in jail. I understand you want justice and this is your job, June. But come on now, you need to go tend to your son Eric and make sure he good. Because I think right now he's at least like, what, 15 years old? Because this was, what, 3 years later? Come on now, June. Be grateful, my girl. She in jail. This was a devastating scene. So they get they're at Dario's mama house. He gets up, answers the door, and he see it, you know, he walk on the balcony. It's a white Jeep, you know, just sitting there. I don't know if it was a Range Rover or not, but whatever. Next thing you know, you hear baby Michael scream. They takes him from Carolina's house, and there's a man running with him through the garden, through the courtyard. So that's when Dario sees and hears, and he jumps to, like he a man. He finna go and retrieve his son as he should. But when he runs through the house to go out the front door, that's when a man from the side gunned him down. You hear Miss Carolina at the house screaming. Her baby boy is murked at her house on the courtyard. And then they took her grandbaby, baby Mike. Now, come to find out, Dixon, Uber, Uzi comes to visit their mom in jail. And they holding hands through the plexiglass. And you know what Uzi say? Mom, Dario has found a job in Colombia. So, he's not going to be here for a while. So he couldn't take care of the son, so now he wants to be with us. So why Uzi is telling this to Griselda? Griselda looking up at Uber like, okay, thank you for telling. Like, he's basically confirming this is a story that we want this son to stick to. So from his recollection, their dad, Dario, or stepdad, is off to work. And that's why they got the little baby brother. Now, they bet one big happy family. Remember, the godmother outlined her sons. Like, this is her protection, her prized possession. So now that she in deep stuff, her refuge is seeing her kids all together. So that's when I'm like, damn, G, you done got this man killed. I know he took your baby, I understand, but like as a young man when he grows up, how will he look at you when he finds out? That's why I said this is sad, man. Poor Miss Carolina. 7 years later, we see Detective June, and she's basically turning in her gun, her badge, and all that. So we thinking she quit, like she retired. Nah, she just quit from being on the Senate unit. She want to have more time with her kids, like initially she wanted to do a couple years ago when she wanted to stop. But she didn't really want to stop because of that. She wanted to stop because the men she was working with didn't respect her. But now, in hindsight, she actually wanted to take time and have a desk job. So her and Griselda is sitting right there in visitation because she goes to visit Griselda. Griselda basically like, what the hell you want? What you want? So this is when June gives her the information that all three of her sons was killed. Dixon was shot. Uber was shot. And Uber was shot doing a transaction in Colombia, drug transaction. Dixon was shot walking to his car. And the chain that she gifted them when she was pleading for their forgiveness at the hotel when they left Miami, that's what Uber was holding in his hand when he was doing a drug deal. So he was gunned down. Uzi also was killed because he was in a crowded Miami club, or a crowded club, I'm sorry. So her heart is broken, and she basically tells Griselda, they did this to you up on the time that you about to get out because they wanted it to hurt so much. It's like so much closer you were to the end of the road, to the light of the tunnel, and then they just diminish your light and knock you upside your head with reality. And now her foundation, her prized possession that she outlined, they all gone. And she is scared and she hesitated to ask, what about Michael Callion? So June tells her Michael Callion he's safe. Him and his grandmother, Miss Carolina, are in Medellin, Colombia, and they're safe. So at this point, at least her son can carry the legacy. At least he's still alive. And remember, this her baby that she's heartbroken. Well, he didn't know that she broke his heart. But when he finds out, you actually had something to do with my father passing, then that's going to be hurtful too. So this is the last episode, and we get to find out that in September 2012, at the age of 69, Griselda was murdered outside of a butcher shop in Colombia. So after she was released from jail, she went back to Colombia where her son was at, and this was she died at the age of 69. So it seems as though she had some type of time to live and get to know her son, maybe right some wrongs that she did, ask for forgiveness. So rest in peace, Miss Griselda Blanco, and you have a very bright future, Michael Callion. This was the series. I'm so glad that it's over. The episode that got me the worst was the episode where baby Castro was killed, and June had to find out, just how low that Griselda would go. So thank you guys for keeping up with this series. Thank y'all for coming back, watching these reviews. This is about damn time. So make sure y'all thumbs, like, subscribe, comment. Let's talk about the show. See y'all later next time.